Obviously, there was a personal element to see my former vice president become the 46th president, to see Kamala Harris as our first woman vice president. But more broadly, I think inaugurations signal a tradition of a peaceful transfer of power that is over 2 centuries old.
Well, I think the fact that the three of us are standing here talking about a peaceful transfer of power speaks to the institutional integrity of our country.
So this is an unusual thing. We are both trying to come back to normalcy, deal with totally abnormal challenges, and do what we do best, which is try to make a more perfect union. It's an exciting time.
We've got to not just listen to folks we agree with, but listen to folks we don't. And one of my fondest memories of the inauguration was the grace and generosity that President Bush showed me and Laura Bush showed Michelle. And it was a reminder that we can have fierce disagreements and yet recognize each other's common humanity, and that as Americans, we have more in common than what separates us.
I think if Americans would love their neighbor like they would like to be loved themselves, a lot of the division in our society would end.
That's what this means. It's a new beginning. And everybody needs to get off their high horse and reach out to their friends and neighbors and try to make it possible.
If, in fact, as George said, we're looking for what binds us together, the American people are strong, they're tough, they can get through hardship, and there's no problem they can't solve when we're working together. I think that was the theme of Joe's inaugural speech, and I think all of us discovered that we're at our best when we're all moving in the same direction.
America's a generous country with people with great hearts. All three of us were lucky to be the president of this country. Mr. President, I'm pulling for your success. Your success is our country's success, and God bless you.
I'm glad you're there, and I wish you well. You have spoken for us today. Now you will lead for us, and we're ready to march with you. Good luck. God bless you.
Joe, I'm proud of you, and you and Kamala need to know that you've got all of us here rooting for your success, keeping you in our prayers, and we will be available in any ways that we can as citizens to help you guide our country forward. We wish you Godspeed.
Thank you. Now I have a very special guest, Elder Grant and Elder Barnes. We're building a youth movement in the Rainbow Push intentionally. I was young in 1960 as the NAACP youth leader. So you're involved with, you have the right to vote. Every young person has the right to vote. How do you talk about registration among your group?
I believe voting is essential. I think those, especially the young people in Georgia, show that. They show many of us that we have the opportunity to march to the polls and turn our pain into power, showing that we can make a mark. Our voice can be heard, not just on social media, but by the push of a button, showing what we believe and what matters most to us.
It's conversational. It's not limited just to voting.
Mm-hmm.
Every government can do other things too.
Right. I think one of the things that they can do is like what we're doing here and with Rainbow Push Coalition. And there's a need for these kind of civil rights organizations with the Rainbow Push Coalition, the NAACP, the Transformative Justice Coalition. It is more than voting. It's a movement. And so we've got to work the movement.
Vote is part of the content. Young people should vote A because you get more scholarships. Student loan debt is greater than credit card debt, for example. Vote because you will be the first to go to war if there's a war. You want peace rather than war. Negotiation rather than confrontation. So the reason the number is plus, you have the right to vote and run for office. I think sometimes we underestimate the power of the vote. Since a group of young people, and you guys have put a precinct in jail in Cook County, right? Well, young men said, why should I vote? So, well, you're going to face the jury. You want an all-white jury? No. All those racial vote can serve on juries. So you can vote for the judge, state's attorney. attorney general, governor, senator. You run those offices as well. So there's power in that vote.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, even to run for office, something that you showed in your campaign in 84 and in 88 is that not only is our power to vote, but be one of those people who have a seat at the table to make the decision. And I think that's moving forward what we can do, even in creating organizations or your organization with Rainbow Push to the fulfillment of a more perfect union.
How did Biden's speech strike you today?
I think Biden's speech was a breath of fresh air in America. For 4 years, we have been on the edge of our seats, kind of almost fearful of what could happen next. And of course, we saw on January the 6th, one date out of many, the heights that, the right would go to. And so I think that Biden did a wonderful job with creating unity. He always hones in on the fact that he wants to be a president for all of those who voted for him and who didn't. He is about unifying. And so I think that and then of course with his us being preachers, all of us were happy to hear him quote the Bible that weeping will endure for a night, but joy would come in the morning. I think he gave us hope like we never had it before.
Joy came this morning.
It did come this morning.
We work in the dark. We work in the dark. It's just, we have 2 years sent out of Georgia. So I worked in the dark. All 18-year-olds who are in high school now will be 18 by November can vote right now. They should be part of the high school ritual. We'll call it a diploma. Same time.
Absolutely. And it's powerful when we can work in the dark, because I believe we can do things that can come to light. What's done in the dark will soon come to light. And so it's important that we do the things that people can.
Some of your dad's philosophy there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, it's true, but and so no lie can live forever.
No.
They get exposed. But then I think that he has convinced millions of white people election was stolen from them, and therefore they're ever dangerous. And I hope that we're successful. Reducing unfounded fears. Well, so the big lie for a long time, blacks were inferior. That was a big lie. It justified slavery. Not just criminal injustice, but also history and philosophy and medicine, law, and all that. Now the big lie has to be he lost the election. Now, I want to close on this note here, because I want those who are watching today to become part of Rainbow Push's youth division. How can they join the youth division?
They can go to RainbowPush.org, of course, and always take out a membership. Student membership is $15 a year. And for elders, it's $15 a year. All general membership is $35 a year. We want you to join this movement simply because we've seen now in this election, particularly, what can happen. Georgia had not been blue in 28 years, almost 3 decades. But the Gen Zers, the 18 to 25-year-olds, that was the biggest voting bloc, Reverend, in this entire election. And it flipped Georgia blue in the presidential election. And in the Senate runoff, we have now elected John Ossoff and Reverend Senator Raphael Warnock.
And since Noel was replacing us under who left, he's on 2 years. So we got to start Warnock right now.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to continue to get the ball rolling. We can't stop now. We can't get complacent and just get so happy that we forget that there's more work to do.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say this, the pandemic, how you guys handling the young people risking no mask in public?
One of the things that I even share with those who are in my circle, that it's important to wear a mask, to wash up, clean up, because there are people that you will be around. You're not just doing this for your own safety, but the safety of your family, your elders, your parents, those who matter most to you.
Exactly. And I echoing off that same point, personally for me, it's like when you go home, if you want to put yourself in danger, then that's a decision that you ought to make. But you ought to not be making that decision if you're going back to your mother, your father, your grandparents, those who are not going out. You're the only one in the house going out. You would be bringing your germs, bringing this virus back into your home, and you would be the reason. And we don't want to do that.
AIDS is based on some sexual contact. So those who are not involved in sexual contact, without any protection, they were at risk. Now you simply can breathe. People around you can pass off this virus. And I really want to think that those who are watching it, young people, do take the vaccine, honor protocols, take the vaccine, wear your mask, distance, and no social grouping. There's a big flow of more viruses after Thanksgiving and after Christmas. So the virus killed. Thank you guys for being part of this.
Thank you, Reverend.
I'm anxious to get your generation more involved because I think that you must do this spring and fall, spring and summer. God bless you.